Hi folks, been thinking to title this. Here it goes, although you might have read the title already, but most likely I'm not going to title it this way. I mean this video with this title. What they stole from you. What they stole from you. I mean, that doesn't sound like a very upbeat, positive, uplifting, empowering title of a video, or what was stolen from you, or more like what they stole from you. I don't know, one of the two. But I was thinking that's not a title you're going to hear in any sort of new age sort of philosophies or thoughts or teachings or something like that. Not going to address what was stolen from you, man. That's for sure. That's where we don't want to go. We, we don't want to see who it was and what was stolen from us, and how we've been operating without our gifts, without our true blessings and our true genius, if you will. Just taking that word genius from Michael Meade. What we've had, what life has been like to go in the opposite direction of who we came here or what we are about. I don't know what that means really. And yes, it's not for nothing. It wasn't a mistake, but it's real enough that to try and comprehend all the reality that that things were stolen from us, things that we were born with. Intuition, self-confidence, trust, connection to nature, to mystery, to the divine, to the logos, strong imagination, a love for, very little separation amongst people. Okay, so that which is part of our human nature and that which is part of our almost spirit or heart or consciousness was removed from us. I know I used to have a pretty darn good sense of humor, and I felt that school took that out of me. I felt that school and religion, dampened my spirit. Okay, so it's almost like they didn't really take something from you. What they did was they just disconnected you from it. So nothing was really stolen. Time was stolen in a way. Opportunity was stolen, but another opportunity was given at the same time. Not by them, but just by happenstance. So it wasn't really stolen. It's been siphoned off, or you've been, like I said, disconnected from it. And now the challenge is getting connected with that again. Is rediscovering, is remembering. Like again, remember is to join in a way, to become whole in a sense. And again, it's not just like refinding and rediscovering, but there's a process of growth as well. So I'm saying that, like, once you've also rediscovered your confidence, your intuition, your imagination, your creativity, your connectedness to the mystery, or your vitality to life, once you reconnect to it, it's like a long lost lover, and what I'm saying is that there's also been experience gained, but again, I don't think that primarily it's just about reconnecting with one's genius or one's self in a sense. That's part of it. But I think it's like it's also something is strengthened at the same time. So it's not just like, oh, I lost something, and when you find it, I lost my cell phone. And then 2 days later I found it again. Okay, sometimes like if 2 days in this situation, using a metaphor of myself, and like if I find myself and it's like, wow, I didn't realize to a degree what the cell phone is and how much power it actually has. You know, maybe it could have been taken for granted to a certain degree if it was never taken away. You know, I don't know. That's just a side note, because I don't want to just be in the thought of just reconnecting with what you've always been, but also using that and becoming so much more. Okay, I mean, like words. I don't know what better words to use in that. Well, really, but that's cheapening it completely, I must say. So, but it's one thing to say, like, one of the things when confidence is taken from you, you know, because like, and then you may to completely self-doubt and be anxious about who you truly are, and your own thinking, this is another thing, your own independent thought was taken away from you. Really, your own curiosity was taken away from you. You weren't allowed to be curious. You know, you weren't allowed it to cost you dearly. You weren't allowed to have individual thought. Not allowed, not allowed. And so that's a big thing, folks. And then the more you tried and came close to your independent thought, or to your curiosity, let's just say, just use these two for an example, the more you were riddled with guilt and anxiety. Okay? Just thinking if it's the garbage truck day today, when these guys come collect the garbage, I don't know, so much noise. You know, so you see, like, going back towards that, firstly, okay, I'm jumping the gun here, but going back towards your curiosity, your imagination, your self-confidence, there's a massive anxiety about it. Okay, and the ego, or some parts of you, or not really, whatever it is, certain mechanisms of you are reluctant for you to go there. And not only that, but even in your life today, you will be reluctant to go there, to be honoring who you are, because the people in your environment who you've grown up with, or the world around you, cultural, doesn't want you to become or return to who those parts of you and own them. They don't want you to be a free thinker. They don't want you to have a curiosity. They don't want you to ask why. They don't want you to look at what was stolen from you by them, firstly, them being whoever you want them to be. You know, you can get as neurotic as you want. But I mean, it's pretty simple who it was and who it is and who it continues to be. But they don't want you to see it, because then they'll have to look at themselves, firstly. And not only that, but by you doing that work, you showing them something that exists that they're not doing. You showing them a way out, or something else. Like the magician's trick, something that's impossible, that you thought was always impossible, but now you see that it was possible all along. Or they've seen that something is possible. Wow, hold on a minute. There's something in you that has strength, that has independent thought, that is unique, is individual, or feels, or suffers, or directs their own life, or in control, has willpower. Like, wow. You know, for those people who don't experience any of that, they look at it and then they're like, and some of them are grateful for you showing them that. Not just you, somebody who does that, exemplifies that. Some people are grateful for it and admire that intensely. But other people, they don't want to know it. They don't want you to be doing it. They don't want to see you be doing it. And they won't support you in doing that, like I've discussed in my last video. So it's real, folks. It's real, this. And it's one thing saying about what was stolen from you, because the thing is that, again, in my own life, to connect with my confidence and my own decision making, with the decisions that I'm making and the direction that I'm going in my own life, there's so much anxiety, there is so much difficulty, there is so much restlessness in myself about it, about self-trust, alright, about feeling or honoring what I'm feeling, although to honor what I'm feeling. But let's just stick with confidence here. For myself to be confident, there is such an anxiety. It feels terrible. makes me feel nauseous at times. Petrified. Yeah, petrified. It's like, I just don't want to rely on me. I just got to get so many other people's opinions, which is okay. I'm saying it's always good to get somebody, if you're making a decision, and you know somebody who's on the same page as you, can give you a little bit of guidance. But so it's not about that. But it's like overly doing it, like asking everybody, "Is this the right move? Are you sure?" You know. I remember when Terence McKenna asked the mushroom, he said, "You know, am I doing the right thing or something?" And the mushroom said something like that. I don't mean to misquote, but the mushroom said to him, "Oh man." The mushroom said to him, "What kind of question is that you're asking me? You know, it's kind of like, what a wussy question to be asking, not just me, but what a wussy question to be asking in general, you know." But how many people, how many great, you see, this is what Michael Mead was talking about, is that where your gift lies is closest to your wound. And is when you're bringing your gift out, when you're bringing out then all your everything else attached to it is also coming out with that. So it's like people who've been great authors, you know, and done amazing work, and then they feel so insecure about maybe then writing their next book or their next movie or performing, you know, Nirvana, Kurt Cobain. I mean, he was a good example of that, right? He just, in my opinion of what I've read about him, he never really felt that he could own how brilliant he was and how dynamic he was and how revolutionary he was. He couldn't own that. I remember, I'm sidetracking now, but I remember in the movie Battle of the Sexes, a great movie to watch, hidden with lots of agendas as well, but the movie of Billie Jean, you know, she was the first woman who played to play a man in tennis, to compete against a man, and she beat him and she won, and she turned sort of tennis around completely for what it meant for women players, and she was just such a spokesman for women. And after she had won that match, you know, against, I can't remember his name is, Bobby, I think, I'm not sure, I can't remember, played by, what's that guy's name, I always forget his name. It doesn't matter, you can watch the movie, I can recommend it. She beats him in the final set, and she just excuses herself and goes to the bathroom, the ladies, and she just, you know, there's no one else around. I mean, the whole world is, not the whole world, but everyone on television has a television at the time is watching. It's a big thing, folks. And she runs into the ladies and she just starts crying. You know, can you imagine how hard it was? Just to understand the magnitude of what you have achieved. It's very hard, it's very heavy to know that I can do something like that, you know, that I'm capable of something like that. Especially when you haven't been given the confidence for it. How much time have I got left here, folks? When you haven't been given the confidence for it. Wow. And not just that, I mean, so obviously you build confidence, no matter how much probably, how instilled confidence you were as a child, how much, you know, you allowed to, that when you take on the world stage, you're still going to have insecurities. You know, you're still going to feel like, wow, this is, I mean, that's life, but, so that's something else, but to bring out who you, to believe in yourself, for myself, my own confidence is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And you know, but I must say, when I follow my confidence and my decisions that I make and my thinking that I think, you know, I definitely feel, it feels strange, because it feels like, wow, I was right all along, or I'm capable. And then I start thinking, gee whiz, how much fear have I had about being capable or not being capable? Like, what happens if I wasn't? What happens if I couldn't? Like, let's say I wanted to start making videos on YouTube. Let's say somebody wants to, and you've been thinking about it for years, and every time you want to do one, you know, you get stopped and say, no, you've got nothing to say, or you're going to take up people's time, or people are going to think you're stupid, or maybe you don't have the camera quality to do it, or blah blah blah, whatever it is. And then finally you do it, and then like a year later of making videos, Okay, you got maybe even 1,000 subscribers, which is great. You got 100 people watching your video and commenting, and it's lovely. And it's like, wow, look how far I've come, and you just feel so great, cool about yourself, and so fulfilled about yourself. But then you also think about the part of you that was so scared, and where the part of you is so scared to do other things in your own life, right? To take chances or risks in your own life. And then you see what I'm talking about in a way is that you realize that parts of you have been institutionalized in a way. It's like we become comfortable in our own prisons. And I'm saying in general, majority of people are comfortable in their prison that they live in. And I'm saying a lot of things here, but to leave one's own prison step by step is an agonizing experience. It's agonizing. It's a bittersweet, there's no question about it. It's a bittersweet. You know, when I think about Shawshank Redemption and Andy Dufresne, like, why was it that only Andy Dufresne managed to escape? Why was it that he never gave up on trying to escape? Why was he not prepared to be institutionalized? Why was he not he said that the last thing that they can take from you, they can take everything, but they can't take your hope. That's what his thing was. And that was hope that enabled him to find a way out. And what I'm saying is that so many of us have become so institutionalized, so in the hive mind, in the womb, that we do not wish to seek a way out. Why? Because we don't feel that we have what it takes to find a way out, or to even better our lives, or something or other. We don't believe it in ourselves. We want somebody else to do it for us, because we become so institutionalized. And so what I'm saying is that becoming free, in a way, is a painful experience. It's such a bittersweet experience. Because also, to become free, you've got to realize who put you in prison in the first place. And it wasn't you. It wasn't you who put you in prison. There's enough evidence around us today to see, so much of the time is here, to see, there's enough evidence in the world today to see exactly how you were put in prison. And that doesn't just date back in your lifetime, but I'm saying from centuries ago, historically ago, how the stage was set that you would eventually arrive in a prison, a man-made prison, okay, a man-made matrix. It's been going on for a long time. So it wasn't you who put you in prison. Don't be stupid now. To a certain degree, we keep ourselves in the prison, and we kept manifesting a further prison, around us. But it wasn't you, and so it's very hard to look and say, who did this? How did it work out? Whatever it is, and that's painful, folks. I mean, I'm just saying that very sort of easily, but it's tremendously difficult. Tremendously difficult. Anyways, folks, I'm running out of time. I've got a 20-minute limit recording on this camera. And I suppose there's more to be said on that, but we've got to find our freedom, you've got to find your confidence, find your imagination, reconnect with all the gift and blessings that you are about. And don't waste time, and don't give in to fear, right? So important. That's the real challenge that we face, folks, and I think that's one of the greatest purposes of our lives, Absolutely. Is finding that which is in and radiating that which is in outwardly as well into the world. I definitely feel that way. Easier said than done, folks. We'll chat soon. Take care.